What is going on, guys? My name's Amit and welcome to DevDreamer. So in this first tutorial series then, we're taking a look at HTML, and this first lesson is what is HTML? So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that's exactly what it is. It is a language that is used to mark up or describe the different elements on a web page. Now don't worry if you don't know what I mean by elements, we'll take a look at that a bit later on in this video, but understand that HTML is nothing difficult. That's all it is. It's just a markup language. It's used to actually put things onto a web page. Now any website you've ever been to started life out as HTML, because HTML is the basic building block for all websites out there. So then let's take a look at HTML in the overall web development process. So there are three main ingredients that make up a website. You've got HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is basically the structure of the website. So we have this plain old boring square here, okay? CSS is where the styling comes in. CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So we've taken that same square and we've actually given it a border and we've colored it in, we've shrunk it down in size a little bit, and we've just slightly rotated it as well. And then finally we have JavaScript. JavaScript is all about the interactivity. So this is when the user does things, and JavaScript is all about responding to the user events. So things such as clicking on a button or scrolling the page. So for example, we can have that same square and the user clicks a button or scrolls and it disappears. So what do we need to know before we start learning HTML? What are some of the prerequisites? Ready for the big list? Just kidding, there's none. Nothing. There are no prerequisites. Remember guys, HTML is the starting point of the web development process. So you don't need to learn anything else. This is where things start. So now let's take a look at a quick example of live HTML. Okay, so here we are then on a website we should all be familiar with, facebook.com. And as I promised, I'm going to show you a live example of HTML. So if we take a look at this page then a bit more closely, we start to see that actually it's built up using different elements. So here we have a text element. We have another text element here, which is slightly smaller than this one here. We've got some input fields. We have some drop-down lists. Okay. We have these selection buttons here, which are known as radio buttons. We have another button here. We've got all these links down here, which go to different pages on the site. We have an image element here. So I can just right click this, click on open image in new tab. And as you can see, it's just an image with a PNG file extension. We have another text element here. We have input fields at the top here. We've got this button, this link. So as you can see, the entire page is built up using these different elements. And the way that we put those elements on the page is we use something called HTML. So then let me just right click on this page. I'm in Google Chrome. I'm going to right click and then click on Inspect. And this brings up the Google Chrome developer tools. And what I'm going to do is just delete the head section. I don't worry if you don't know what that is. We'll be taking a look at that a bit later on in this series. But let's just close the DevTools. And guys, take a look at this. We're still on Facebook.com. Okay, but what we're looking at is the raw HTML, and it looks, well, horrible in comparison. And that's because there's been no styling or anything else on this page. We've still got all those elements there. So we've got our image, our input fields, buttons, the drop-down list is still there, all those links are still there. But it looks different because what we're looking at is just the HTML, okay? And as I said, this is where all websites start out their lives. And sooner or later, you'll know how to take this and turn it into this, okay? So there you have it, guys. That was a very quick introduction to HTML. In the next lesson, I'll be showing you some of the things that you need to download in order to start writing HTML for yourselves and following along with these lessons as we progress. So please subscribe, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.